think they're talking about us. No way.
Welcome, fellow Kiss fans. Welcome to It's All For You Demons, celebrating the fun of being a Kiss fan. My name is Rick.
I'm Sweet Dan.
This is Pee Wee. And tonight we are talking Kiss at 50. Whew. 50th anniversary of the debut album just happened recently, and they released a 50th anniversary bundle and some other cool merch.
Hard to believe. Hard to believe.
And one thing the other week when I was looking at Kisstory took me by surprise, because Kisstory, they were talking about in the comic book that it had only been 20 years.
Yep.
That's crazy to me. I turned 50 this year. We just saw Kiss in New York City during the 50th anniversary celebration, if you will. So I wanted to talk Kiss at 50 tonight. Let's start off with your thoughts on the first record. Not really musically, your thoughts. You as a kid, were you ever familiar with that first album?
I held it in my hand a lot. Never actually got the first album. Of course, Double Platinum came out and a lot of those songs were on that. That was kind of my introduction to those old songs. To go on a tangent here, I think the first Kiss album and all those early albums, they hold up very well 50 years later, where a lot of stuff doesn't. Honestly, might piss off some people, but like you listen to a Tool album, 50th anniversary of the first Tool album, it's going to sound like a certain time. If rock and roll is done right, it's timeless.
Which I remember owning the first album on cassette in the late 80s, 90s. So this would have been before I was buying CDs. I had it on cassette. So I don't know if maybe you suggested that's where I start. I had smashes. Mm-hmm. And then I obviously started buying cassettes, because back then...
Remember you having a Live 2 on cassette because it got stolen out of my car.
Yeah, oh, I remember that. And this is weird to think about. When I first became a Kiss fan, 88, you still didn't really buy a lot of CDs. Like, that was a luxury. Right. You just bought one, really.
Yeah.
And Smashes was my only Kiss CD that I owned, and everything else I would buy on cassette. And so I had that debut record. Do you remember us celebrating that?
I can remember, because it'd been so long since I'd heard the debut album. We were so used to double platinum versions of songs that when we did hear like Black Diamond on the first album and the at the end, that was all kind of new to us.
A few moments later.
Yeah, in 1990, that would have been very new to us. Now, I remember 1990-ish, there was a place in St. Joe called the Emporium.
Merry Christmas, Emporium!
Oh, yeah.
We would go there, what was it? Kind of like a head shop, basically?
Kind of like looked like a garage sale inside a building.
Okay. And I remember one time, we're both into Kiss, going in there. They had the debut record signed by Gene and Paul in silver marker.
$60.
$60. And
again, $60.
Those were legit autographs, though.
Yeah.
That was legit. That was not faked. I can still see it in my mind's eye.
Yep.
Why on earth we didn't combine money and...
Oh, I know. At that point, I think food was more important to us.
And even more fun with the first Kiss record. I remember going to see Hot in the Shade with you, and there was a local DJ. If ever she showed up at a show, she kind of had a big head. I'm more important than you,
right.
You know.
I'm more of a fan of a little head.
Cut the clowning.
And this is how naive I was back then. I remember seeing her with her boyfriend, kind of looked like somebody from Airheads, basically. And I remember he had the first album with him, and we saw them going backstage.
Yeah.
And to me, I didn't realize stuff like that could happen.
Yeah.
You could go backstage at a show. We saw him come out, and he had it signed by Gene and Paul.
We didn't really get to experience that until Carrie Kelly with Alice Cooper.
True.
Not you guys can come backstage, not something we purchased like a package or anything. It was just making friends with a musician and then being invited backstage. That was pretty cool. If you're out there, Carrie, we love you.
Very cool. December, we just went to New York and got to experience the New York City Takeover, which basically was a celebration of 50 years of Kiss. Even the golden ticket on the back has from the Popcorn Club to Madison Square Garden.
Yep.
That's pretty freaking cool.
Yep.
So, in your mind, how was, not even the show, how was those days in New York for you? How was it celebrating 50th of Kiss?
Well, not to get all emotional, but it would have been cool if I went by myself, but being with you, since we were partners in crime on this, made it amazing.
That was my whole thing, too. Going to Hot in the Shade with you, first show, 1990. Going to my last show with you, 2023. That was just magical.
Bookends.
And bookends. And being able to do all the stuff we did, find the locations we found, pop-up store, the shows, of course.
Even waiting in line for all this stuff was kind of a privilege.
Oh, God, yeah. Because, again, we always talk Kiss days, right? Like a Kiss day is always fun, whether it's a album release or you're traveling to an expo. And that was just like a Kiss day nonstop.
Oh, yeah. I live for that kind of stuff. Like you said, escape days where you concentrate on something. It could be Kiss, it could be Alice Cooper, it could be Bryan Adams for you. Anything like that that just takes you away from the mundane, everyday 9-to-5 life is I'm all aboard.
And so that's a perfect segue into the final discussion of this. And that is, especially myself, I turned 50 this year. You turned 54.
But don't we look good?
Us still being Kiss fans in our 50s. Like, what is that like to you?
Well, not to sound like Costanza's father, but it shows that we don't follow the trends. Kiss is basically family. They don't know that about me and you. But, I mean, it's nothing, it's not a band we like at this point. It's a lifestyle. It's like people love a football team. Ours just happens to be a rock band, and they're the most collectible rock band, the most fun rock band. Great songs. I mean, it's something, whether they release a piece of shit, you'll stand behind them. Yeah, it's just something that's always there in your life, no matter what you're going through. At my wedding, I came out to a Kiss song.
Very, very true. It was Fractured Mirror.
Fractured Mirror.
That was very cool.
Yep, and you were in charge of playing that.
I was in charge of turning the volume down when the pastor showed up. Which I was nervous. I remember like sweating.
And hoping that my soon-to-be father-in-law knew where to walk.
In my mind, being a Kiss fan at 50, especially still being friends with you, like, first off, how many people are still friends with people they were friends with in 8th grade? That's very rare.
That rarely happens. Or, yeah, you might get an occasional wave on the Facebook or an occasional text, hey buddy, but it's not like that for us.
Yeah. And so that is hugely important to me. But I think being a Kiss fan at 50, honestly, I can say, granted, I don't like my day job. It's not what I want to do with my life.
Same.
But I can honestly say, like, hanging out with you, talking about Kiss, collecting Kiss, devouring Kiss daily, I can honestly say that I am living the dream life I dreamed of when I was a teenager.
Yes. Like you said, our occupation's nothing that we have a passion for, but it's your priorities. This is my priority, not my job. My job pays the bills to do this.
Amen.
That was a multiple band.
Thank you for hanging with us tonight and waxing a little rock and roll nostalgia, waxing some Kiss at 50 in our 50s with us here in the Wax Night House. Be good to your babies, especially the older ones. Pee-wee is a senior at this point, and sugar frosted face, still looking good. Take care, be safe. We will talk to you soon. I'm more important than you, you know.
I'm more of a fan of a little head.
What? Oh, because I said a big head. Okay, I'm with you. Jesus Christ. All right.